What's going on, everyone? I am back here with another video for you guys today. And today I'm going to be giving you guys my full in-depth look at iOS 7.1, which was just released today. iOS 7.1 is a pretty major update because it does include quite a lot of new features and enhancements. Let's go ahead and jump in here. So, first thing you'll note on the lock screen here, if you happen to be using a passcode or a password that uses the lock screen keyboard, you'll notice that the keyboard is much more transparent and more of a darker color than it used to be in iOS 7.0.6. So that's pretty cool, just a slight little change there. Let me go ahead and enter my passcode now. Get it unlocked. Okay, so now first thing is this one I can't particularly show you because it involves only the iPhone 5S. I'm currently using an iPhone 5 for this particular video. I forgot to mention that. But anyway, the first feature is for the iPhone 5S, and it includes you can now upload burst photos to PhotoStream. If you happen to use the burst photo function on the iPhone 5s's camera. So all of those pictures will be uploaded to PhotoStream. It's pretty nice. Okay, next we have reduced transparency, which is in accessibility options. Let's go, accessibility. And we have reduced transparency, increased contrast. There we go. Okay, so under increased contrast, you have these three options here, where you can reduce the transparency, darken the colors of the entire operating system, and reduce the white point. So, let me start with reduced transparency. When you turn that on, and say for example, Control Center, it will not have a transparent background. So, all the transparency basically in the entire OS will basically be turned off, and it'll be a solid gray color. Then when you turn it off, the transparency comes back, and you can see underneath all of the menus. So that's a pretty cool little thing just for those people that want to use that. Next, we have darkened colors. I haven't found this to do too much. I really haven't found where it particularly will darken the colors, but the colors, I guess, slightly get darkened, but not anything noticeable. So let's go and turn that off. Now, reduce white point. Now, this is something that is fairly noticeable. So when you turn that on, as you can see, the screen got slightly dimmer. So I'll do that a couple more times. Basically, what reduce white point does is it makes all of the white colors in the operating system slightly dimmer than usual. Excuse me. To make it easier on the eye and easier to look at, basically. So, it's pretty cool. Alright, so moving on. This is another iPhone 5S only feature, but it includes the ability to turn on auto HDR in the camera app. So say for example you want to take a picture using the HDR feature. You can turn it on and have the phone automatically take an HDR picture depending on if the actual picture or scene needs HDR. If it doesn't, it will not turn or use the HDR function. So, pretty cool. Okay, moving on. This one's also an iPad-only app, or feature. Not really a feature, but an iPad-only tweak. And it includes a change to the closing animation when using the 4 or 5 finger hand gesture. So if you happen to close an application using your 5-finger gesture, the animation will be slightly tweaked and will be less glitchy, as some may call it. So that's nice. Okay, next. We have what's called larger accessibility sizes. So this is another accessibility option. So under large text, as you can see, there is larger accessibility sizes. As it states, apps that support dynamic type will be adjusted preferred to the rendering size below. So, yeah, when you turn that on, it will allow you to, excuse me, I have the coughs today. It'll allow you to adjust the size of text throughout the operating system, so you can make it really small or really big, depending on your preference. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and turn that off now. Alright, now, moving on. Let's go ahead and go here. Okay. Alright, now, you can... Actually, this one... No, let me move on here. Let's see. Okay. Now, it says there's a new message underneath in the missed notifications under Notification Center. So let's go over. As you can see, it says no missed notifications. Previously, it would just say no notifications, but essentially Apple just add the text of missed, so it now says no missed notifications. So that's pretty cool. Very small, but it's noticeable. There is also a new Yahoo logo in the weather application. As you can see right down there in the bottom left hand corner, I have a lot of notifications. It's quite annoying. Okay, so let me get back to this. Okay, the Yahoo logo right down there in the bottom left hand corner has been updated to reflect the new Yahoo logo on Yahoo's website. Okay, let's move on. Okay, there's now an updated Flickr. An updated Flickr icon in the sharing menu. So let's go over. As you can see, Twitter, tongue-tied. Flickr icon is now changed to update Flickr's new application icon. So it's pretty cool. Alright, let's moving on. I'm trying not to make this too long of a video, so let's continue. Alright, so now Touch ID and passcode settings have been moved to the front settings app. So on the main menu of the settings application, if you scroll down, right in between sounds and privacy, you'll now find passcode. And if you happen to own an iPhone 5S, you'll see Touch ID and passcode will also be in that section there. So pretty usual, you can go in there and adjust your password settings. So a new location for that to make it more accessible for those that use that option quite a lot. Okay, moving on. We have a new list view toggle in the calendar application. So there's this new icon right up here next to the search icon. So if you click on that, it will show all of your events in a list view. So you can scroll through them indefinitely and just get a over list view of every single event that you have on your calendar. Pretty nice. And if you click it again, it'll go back to the previous view that you were currently at. While I'm in the calendar, there's also a option to show events in month view. So right now we're in month view. There's also now this little icon up here, so if you click that, now it'll show all of your events while you are in the month view. So that's pretty cool. And once again, if you click it, all of your events disappear. Pretty nice. That's one little feature that I see myself using quite a lot. Okay, now this is another accessibility option. Let's go back in here. There's now an option called button shapes, and essentially what this does is it will make all of the back arrows, as you can see up here where it says general, it'll have a button over that little arrow. So if I turn it on, as you can see, it puts somewhat of a little background over the button up there to make it more distinctive and let you know where to click to go back. So you can click it and it works just like usual, but basically it's more of a visual representation to make it more easier on the eyes and basically make it easier for people to click the button basically. So that's pretty cool. Next, this is just a little tweak including an animation. So the control center animation has kind of like a bounce animation to it. So as you can see there, it kind of bounces when you open it. There you go. Pretty cool. Nothing too major, but for me it was noticeable. It's pretty interesting. Okay, another thing involving animations is the fact that application animations open and close much faster than they did in previous versions of iOS 7. So let's go ahead and open up settings again. As you can see, opening and closing the application is really quick and responsive. And it just makes your iOS device feel much more responsive and quick than it used to be. So that is one thing that I really like. Alright, next is tweaked shift and backspace keys. So if we bring up the keyboard, and if I go and put caps lock on, as you can see, the little icon has changed. It's basically kind of split in half, I guess you could say. So it's pretty cool. Now let me show you what it looked like in a previous version of iOS 7. Right here. So as you can see, when caps lock is enabled, the little split in half arrow icon was not there. It was just a little arrow with a darker color behind it. So that's pretty interesting. A little small tweak again. Alright, the next two things are involving a UI enhancement, and that first one is the power off UI has been redesigned. So let me go to the power off button here. As you can see, the power off slider is completely been changed, and when you slide it, the screen slowly gets darker. It's pretty cool. Then you have a redesigned X button to get out of the menu, so you can click that and get out of there. So pretty cool. Now next in the UI enhancement is the redesigned phone dialer. So you can see, instead of having a big green bar across the bottom, it has just a little square or circle for the phone. Now let me show you what that looked like in a previous version. So where'd it go? Okay, right here, this is what it looks like in a call. Let me go back out, and where'd it go? Let me find this real quick. Oh, that's not it. Okay, this one. This is the old power off slider in previous versions of iOS 7. As you can see, it was just a big square or rectangular icon. So, pretty cool. Nice changes here. Alright, moving on. You have now the ability to reduce the motion. So this is another accessibility option. Accessibility. And you have reduced motion, so you can turn that on and off, and it will correlate to quite a few more operating system functions. So let's go ahead. As you can see, it does the standard home screen where you open and close an application. But the new thing is, if you go into multitasking, as you can see, it just kind of fades into view, and if you click it again, it fades out of view. So it's pretty cool. And then lastly, in the weather application, the weather application will no longer have any motion in it. So if it's raining or anything like that, there will be no rain animation in the weather application if you have reduced motion enabled. So that's a pretty cool thing for those that were complaining about the motion making them sick or something like that. So that's good for those people. Anyway, I'm going to turn that off. Okay, moving on. There are now less vibrant icons for the phone, messages, and FaceTime. So the phone, FaceTime, and messages icons are a less vibrant color of green. As you can see here, this is what they previously looked like in iOS 7.0.6. So they were a much more neon color of green. Now they're more of a darker shade of grass color, I guess you could say. But just a darker color of green is basically it. Okay, now, there's quite a few features. I'm sorry about this. This is ending up a pretty long video. But, okay, moving on. We have a new repeat and shuffle button in the music application. So let's go ahead and head over there. And let's click on this. Okay, so as you can see, the repeat and shuffle buttons have become a darker shade of red. Previously, they were a lighter, kind of like an orange color. As you can see there, were more of a pink color, I guess you could say. Really doesn't want to focus in. Okay, but there, you can see it's a more lighter color of a pinkish red color. So, pretty interesting. Very small change once again, but it's there and you might notice it. Okay. Okay, now we have a search, or a tweaked search bar wording in Safari. So let's go ahead and into Safari. Okay, now up here, it says search web or enter site name. So the text for that has been slightly revamped. So, once again, let's go ahead and go over here. And I guess you can see the text has been changed. It says search or enter address. And like I said, over here in iOS 1.1, says search web or enter site name. So the text has been renamed, essentially. Another small tweak there. Okay, now we have something in the camera app that says new layout for filters in the camera. So the filters here are essentially laid out different. It's not really that noticeable of a change, but I keep getting a mind blank. The filters are basically laid out different than they used to be in previous versions of iOS 7. Okay, moving on. Okay, now you can delete iOS update files via the usage section in the settings application. I don't have any usage for a software update, but you can now have the option to delete a software update to free up memory on your phone. So, pretty cool. Next, let's see. Oh, okay. Next is a more natural sounding voice for Siri for United States English, Australia English, United Kingdom English, Japanese, Chinese, and Mandarin Chinese. So, let me give you a quick example. What is the current weather? And my internet is really, really bad currently.
Okay, here's how the weather's looking.
And there you go. So Siri's voice is much more natural sounding. In iOS 7.0.6, Siri's voice was actually kind of rough sounding, I guess you could call it. It wasn't really natural. It was like halfway between the old Siri and the new Siri. I didn't really like it, but now they've updated it, so it sounds better. So, okay, moving on. This next one involves the wallpaper option. So let's go ahead and click on this wallpaper and choose this. Okay, now there's a new option called perspective zoom. And essentially what that does is it zooms the picture in slightly. But if you turn it off, it'll allow you to zoom the picture out to the normal resolution that it was meant to be put at. And I know a lot of iOS 7 users were quite frustrated that iOS would automatically zoom the photo in. Even I was kind of annoyed at that. But you can turn that on and off now. So if you turn it off, you get the standard or original pixel resolution that it was meant to be at. And if you turn it on, it'll zoom it in slightly. So pretty nice that Apple has done that. That's a huge fix in my opinion. I'm just overall really happy about it. Alright, this one I can't particularly show because I haven't really got it to work, but there supposedly is a new by album option in the iTunes Radio Play Now Playing screen. So if you're listening to a song in iTunes Radio, you should get a button that says buy album to allow you to quickly buy the album for that particular song and artist. So that's pretty interesting. Alright, next is the ability to manually control Siri by holding down the home button. So essentially what you have to do is you hold down the home button, and when you release the home button, Siri will then take your response and start calculating, I guess. So let's go ahead and go into Siri. So if you hold it down, there you go. And when I release the home button, that will basically allow Siri to start automatically getting your response. So as you can see, even if I stop talking, as you can see there, Siri does not automatically go and take my response until I let off of the home button. So once I let off the home button, she will take my response. There you go, see? And it'll calculate it. Wow, it took a lot of words. Anyway, so that's a pretty cool feature, and I'm actually quite happy of it. Okay, next is in the camera application again. And this involves, there's now a little icon letting you know when the flash will be fired if you have it set on auto. So currently I have the flash set to auto. As you can see down here, there is a little it's hard to see. Let's see if I can focus in on that. There we go. There's a little lightning symbol. And when that is present, that'll let you know that the camera will use the flash, but if it gets brighter, that little icon will disappear. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm shining the phone at this bright light, and the little icon's gone. But if I turn it over here, the icon comes back. So, pretty cool. Another visual representation type of thing to let you know what's going on. Okay, moving on. Okay, now we're getting into just some overall system stability improvements. So this one fixes a bug that would cause the home screen to crash. So the home screen crash bug has now been fixed, which is very nice. I've had that happen to me several times over the course of me using iOS 7, so it's quite nice that that bug is now fixed. This one is for the iPhone 5S. It improves Touch ID fingerprint recognition. So it'll improve Touch ID's overall functionality and make it better at recognizing your fingerprint. Very nice. Next, now, this update also improves performance for iOS 7 on the iPhone 4. So iPhone 4 users should notice a much higher improvement and much more stable operating system than they previously were using. So it's very nice. This next one is something that I also can't show you once again. And it involves something called CarPlay. And essentially what CarPlay is it basically puts iOS in the car. So certain cars and car dealers that support this will essentially put a touchscreen tablet-like interface in the car's dashboard, and the operating system will be iOS essentially. And you can use Siri and the phone functions and everything like that, just like you can on your iPhone, but it will just be built into your car. So that's pretty interesting. But the only thing with that is that car manufacturers have to first start developing and making cars with that function in it. Okay, next, and basically this is the last thing, is overall system stability and performance has been improved. So users are going to notice a much more smooth and less glitchy experience. So just navigating the operating system will be much more fluid and less prone to crashes, which is very nice. Oh, and another thing to note is that iOS 7.1 does not include any new dynamic/still wallpapers, and it also does not enable the panoramic wallpaper option that was in one of the iOS 7.0 betas several months ago. So, unfortunately, we don't get any of that in this update. But, anyway, this has been a fairly long video. I hope I've covered every single feature in iOS 7.1. It seems pretty well that I have. But if I did happen to miss anything, please leave those in the comment section below, and I might make a follow-up video highlighting those missed features. So go ahead and please do that. Also, Make sure to hit the subscribe button right down there. Helps out my channel quite a lot. Let me go ahead and get the exposure back up here. Alright. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Helps out my channel quite a lot and helps me bring you guys more content. Also, thumbs up the video. It's much appreciated. And also, just comment below if you have any questions about iOS 7.1 or just have general comments. I'll leave those in the section below and I'll get back to your guys' questions as soon as I can. So, yeah, this has been quite a long video, but yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope I got everything detailed in here and got everything going. And so, once again, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.